Okay, and we're back, and we've been talking for about 20 minutes before the show started.
All right, I am one of your hosts, Owen, and your chief editor.
And I am your other host, Sammy, and not the editor. We're looking for more.
And this is In the Room with Owen.
And Sammy, and thanks for listening. But we're not done yet. Sure, I may have referenced a thing from YouTube, but, we're not done yet. See, when we were talking about a lot of stuff before the show started. We were talking about the Beatles, and we were talking about the last time a band was known with all of their members has House No Hold names, which was probably the Beatles, but I'd make an argument for the Jonas Brothers, because Nick Jonas, Joe Jonas, and I can't remember the third guy's name because this isn't 2012. We're very popular at the time.
I do think that disproves your own theory there.
Yeah, but the only reason I know anything about the Beatles is because some people don't shut up about them. And by some people, I mean you and my grandma.
Well, the Beatles is by far...
Actually, my grandma doesn't talk about them much.
They are the greatest... They are undeniably the greatest and most successful band of all time.
Yeah. I mean, successful, yeah. Greatest.
Greatest... When you say greatest, you have to say for their time.
The greatest for their time. I mean, yeah, I guess, but at the same time, it's like
no one has ever matched
but
the
I
popularity
can't
that they reached.
We're not just talking about popularity.
It's not just about one thing. It's about you have to take in all account of all aspects.
No, you don't. I don't have to take in with from a modern standpoint. I don't have to take into account the fact that they were really popular at the time. They're not popular anymore. Therefore, they can't be. They're not. If they didn't have the staying power, they do have possibly the best staying power of all time, but their music isn't that great anymore. It's just kind of bland. I've heard some of their. I mean, they have their super popular songs and stuff, but less popular stuff is not popular for a reason.
When you have that much music, it is impossible for you not to have bad stuff.
Yeah, like Weezer.
Right. Weezer has a lot of good
some
music.
Pretty crappy stuff in there.
They have a lot of great music, but with a lot of content comes a lot of bad things.
But you know who I mean, like, I know not everything's going to be a hit, but you know what I want to talk about? You remember Katy Perry?
I am aware that was a person who has existed or is still existing.
In 2012, she doesn't really make music anymore, I think. In 2012, she released her album Teenage Dream, right? And if I remember here correctly, Teenage Dream was extremely popular. And I remember that because I remember 2012 very well.
2012, I think I was in kindergarten or first grade.
I was in kindergarten. And Teenage Dream, came out 2012.
Is that the one with a song about fireworks?
I think that was the one.
Because that was a big deal.
Yeah, I remember that major deal.
Song.
Teenage Dream released 2010 August 24th, which is weird because I remember it being a lot later than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Teenage Dream, the album had and this is from Wikipedia here. And no, just because it's Wikipedia doesn't mean it's unreliable. Come on, this is just not common knowledge, but this is reliable stuff here. Is the second album in history to have 5 number 1 singles on the album. That was insane.
I did not.
I feel like people didn't don't realize that. You know the only other people to do that?
The Beatles?
No, not the Beatles. Guess. Pop music.
Pop. I don't know pop music.
You know this one. Michael Jackson.
Oh.
It was insane, right? I mean, it was bad. Michael Jackson's album bad, not. I wasn't calling the album bad, but Michael Jackson's album bad was the other one to do that, right? Which is, and I feel like people don't realize that. If I went up to someone and I said, who's top 3 most popular artists in pop music of all time, they'd probably say was Tina Turner a pop artist? I know she's very popular. Michael Jackson.
That depending on your definition of pop, because pop
Owen, we're not getting into this.
technically
Owen.
means popular. It's
No.
just a shorthand for popular.
Not anymore.
But I have been told that it has grown its own definition. So depending on which definition you're using, whether it just being popular or it having its own genre, you should clarify.
Oh, and this one here says that its sixth single peaked at number 3 on the chart. So she almost beat it. She almost beat the record for most like popular album of all time. And I remember that because when that album released, it was everywhere. I mean, I couldn't go like 20 minutes in the car or watching at TV or something without hearing one of those songs. California Girls, heard it. Teenage Dream, yeah, everywhere. I mean, you walked into like a clothing store, you heard it. And that was 3 at the time. Just to give you some perspective there. Firework, even you know Firework.
Right.
Everybody knows Firework.
My kindergarten teacher was obsessed with that song. Like
E.T., I actually can't remember that one.
Like Extraterrestrial?
Yeah, probably. But
like the amazing Steven Spielberg movie?
I don't think it's that great, the movie. I mean, I watched like half of it and I got bored.
Hello.
You know, I had like a vision that would happen.
I mean, it's bound to happen eventually.
Anyways, that was a little disturbance. You know what? Don't edit that out. It's funny.
Okay.
We had a little intrusion, but I just remember it happening the time before, and I was like, this is going to happen again one time, and it's going to be pretty funny because it's going to be now. Anyways, still, and then we had Last Friday Night, which was extremely popular. I remember that one very well. You know the one?
I probably would be
Last Friday Night. And you know what made all of that more popular? This was around when YouTube blew up, right?
Right.
And you know what else got really popular at the same time? Minecraft. And if you were around back then in like 2010 to 2012 era of YouTube and you watched Minecraft videos, chances are you watched those Minecraft parody videos where they made parody songs about Minecraft.
I remember that.
You do remember that?
I do.
You actually do. Wow.
Well,
okay. I wasn't expecting you to remember that.
So I'm not. This is much later. I think I was in middle school. But do you remember? Maybe it was just in school that I went to. Currently, I was in Plainfield at the time. You know the song "Take on Me," right?
Oh, Mine Diamonds. I remember that.
People I remember kids on the bus because I had to ride a bus.
Screeching that
just every single day, and I remember wanting to take off my ears.
There was better ones than that. That one was made by some kid who really loved Minecraft but couldn't sing very well. And I remember a couple years ago I checked out his YouTube account, and he made his own song, and it was I remember hearing it. It was pretty good, but I can't remember his name or what the song sounded like. I just remember liking it. But you know, that's what they say. You remember the most about things is how you feel when you're listening to them.
Yeah.
You know? Which is important for every musician out there. People are going to remember how they felt during your performance more than anything else. They aren't going to remember, they might remember that cool ass solo you hit, but they probably going to remember how they felt when they were watching it more. That's by I want to say Ella Scott Fitzgerald. I want to say she said that, but I can't remember. Sorry, Ella Scott Fitzgerald. Not really. You're dead.
Okay.
I can't apologize to dead people. What good will it do? It's not like they can hear me.
Okay. This is the second installment of you being extremely disrespectful to dead people, given
Last time it was Neil Armstrong. You might have been on the moon, but now you're 6 feet underground. They should have buried him on the moon. It would have been cool. Well, it wasn't dead up there, but
I don't remember. I genuinely might have edited that out because of how disrespectful that is.
What is he gonna get mad at me?
Well, it's just extremely disrespectful.
I guess, but like, why respect the dead? What are they gonna do? Katy Perry, yeah. And then we started talking about Minecraft. Right,
Oh, man,
the
that
Minecraft
video.
the Minecraft parodies.
I don't think I've heard any other Minecraft parody other than that one.
There were a lot.
There
were a lot. I mean, there was one for every single song that I just listed by Teenage Dream. I'm pretty sure there was one like semi-popular Minecraft parody song about it. There was a guy named Captain Sparkles. I used to watch him all the time when I was younger. He made like 4 of them.
I was never on the internet.
I know, you weren't on the internet that long. I get that.
The only reason I knew the Take On Me parody was because people were screeching it on the bus.
Well, if you have heard the recording of that song, they were probably doing a pretty accurate representation of it.
I know, I have heard the recording, but I only originally knew it because of that. And I cannot imagine that anything by that kid actually sounded good.
Well, he grew up.
Oh.
He was like, he was probably like 10 when he made that, you know?
I mean, that was only like really popular, like, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
It had been a meme for longer than it was popular, you know? Like, there are things that exist for longer than they are popular for, you know? And from before that, because everything exists after it's popular,
right?
You know, but like I'm saying, Barbie has been popular for a while, but this past couple of months, it has been especially popular because the movie came out, and It's very funny that it came out the same day as Oppenheimer, you know.
But Barbie it researched in popularity because there was a new installment to the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a resurgence. Sometimes things just resurge, you know, like Africa by Toto.
Right.
Or the Macarena.
Well, actually, one of the reasons Africa got such a big resurgence is because Weezer covered it, and that got insane.
Weezer covered it?
Hey, are you kidding me? When Weezer covered...
Weezer had a cover album, right? Where they just like covered songs?
The Teal album, which is...
That's what the Teal album is?
It's in my opinion, it's one of their best albums.
You can't call a cover album one of their best albums. That's not... No.
It really... You would be surprised. It's good. And
that's not fair. They didn't write any of that. None of that's original.
If you don't count the Teal album, that... whatever. But their number one hit on that album was their remake of Africa, which is basically they didn't like do anything new with it other than have it their voices. Yeah. It's the exact same thing.
I heard
it got so popular.
I heard their Enter Sandman cover on it was
that is.
And what was it? And have you listened to the whole album?
I've listened to the whole album.
Is that one good?
In comparison
to the rest of the album,
it's the absolute worst of the...
I would have considered it to be. I know at the end of the guitar solo, they did the Buddy Holly riff, right? And that's got to be like the. It's gotta be hilarious hearing
Buddy
that.
Holly is my favorite Weezer song.
It's a lot of. I mean, it's probably their most popular song.
And
other than Beverly Hills, maybe.
I am not a fan of Beverly Hills.
Well, I mean, a lot of their music sounds like Beverly Hills sometimes.
That's just an age for them. I like their earliest stuff, like Buddy Holly, and I've actually gotten quite fond of their later stuff, like the cover album and OK Human.
You say cover album. There's like 6 cover albums, aren't there? Red, blue, green, teal, yellow, right? There's yellow.
I'm absolutely positive Blue was not a cover album because that's when Buddy Holly was a thing. And the Sweater song.
Album, but they named it Weezer, didn't they?
What?
Oh, you mean
The Blue Album. It's called The Blue Album.
I thought they named it after themselves.
No. Well, there might
also,
be.
I forgot what cover album meant for a second.
Cover
album is teal, right?
Right. A cover album is the album that
they just do a bunch of covers of other songs. Yeah, right. I get it.
And to my knowledge, the Teal album, which is one of their newer albums in the last 5 years, maybe, is a great album.
But still, Teenage Dream.
Still
I'm done talking
going-
about Teenage Dream, but I'm not done talking about the Minecraft parodies. You see, I recall back in my day when I was approximately 4 to 6 years old. There was Captain Sparkles.
Right.
And I think there was also another song that wasn't by Katy Perry. It was Call Me Maybe. That song came out like 2012, I want to say. That song has more parodies than I have ever heard of any other song.
That sounds very familiar.
Call Me Maybe.
Yeah, I'm positive I've heard it before.
Probably. I mean, we can't play it on the show because then we'd get copyright claimed, maybe
Right.
even strike. But it was very popular at the time, and it was 2012, which was when everybody decided, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we made all these parodies of these songs? And that's what happened in 2012.
It's a ridiculous song to begin with.
What, Call Me Maybe?
Yeah.
Not really.
Not like supposed to be ridiculous, but the whole
not really. I think it's a very standard song. She just like wants a guy to call her, so she gives her her number.
But
and
just
gives
the
him her
whole
number.
manner of it. There a lot of those songs are, in my opinion, ridiculous.
I don't get what you mean by ridiculous. Do you mean ridiculous as in bad, or do you mean ridiculous as in funny? Are we talking Weird Al Yankovic? They're not hilariously bad. Do not say that. That's not true.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
But not hilariously bad, but just.
I guess, like, in a sense, they can be, in the lyrical sense, they can be perceived as uninspired. But do you know what else can be perceived as uninspired in a lyrical sense? Most other genres. I mean, if like country, a lot of country I heard recently is crap. Every once in a while, there's something good with a cool guitar, and every once in a while, there's something good, and it doesn't even have a cool guitar, and the guitar is rather mediocre, but they sing very well, or the lyrics aren't entirely awful. Because a lot of the times now, it's just crap. I mean, it really is. Like, you know that what is that? Yeah, the one with, like, they're talking about, like, Applebee's on a date night. That song is awful. I don't know how anybody suffers through that. It really, okay. I'm being a little harsh right now.
I have always truly hated country music.
Well, not all of it's bad. And you ever hear Johnny Cash? Johnny Cash stuff?
I have.
They're pretty good.
First of all, the later you go back, the better music tends to be, in my opinion. And there's a little bit of a gray line.
When I go back to caveman times and play Ooga Booga for Owen.
I'm talking about more of like the 70s. But the 70s had, they were more like folk rock, which
pretty good.
Which loosely developed into country music. Well, and I really do have gotten used to, like, I really do have liked some slightly folk inspired rock from the 70s.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite
also had
genres.
Like, I mean, there was still country rock at the time,
right?
You know, like Lynyrd Skynyrd stuff going on,
right? But that was a big influence to the country music.
I do think folk is better than country, but folk, I feel like it's overlooked as being for, like, children sometimes, because a lot of children's songs are folk-y.
But it shouldn't be.
If you've heard, like, when I was younger, I mean, they have those songs that they sing to kids all the time, nursery rhymes and whatnot. You know,
some of those should not be sung to kids.
Yeah, but a lot of them are folk. You know, like about like a bear in the woods or something, and it's trying to make a pie out of molasses and dirt or something. Is
there a specific example?
Actually, there is a book called Ugly Pie that I am very specifically thinking of right now that had to do with
Ugly Pie.
Yeah, it was called Ugly Pie. It was a book it was a book for children by Lisa Wheeler. That's not someone you're supposed to know. That's just what I looked up right now. And I made the pie with my grandma, right?
Didn't you say dirt?
It
And
didn't actually have
molasses?
dirt. It just had it had like brown sugar, and we are like, I don't know what brown sugar is. And my grandma was like, "Hey, it's just Well, she didn't sound like that, but it was. She told me it was just molasses and sugar. That was, and that now I know what brown sugar is, and now all of you guys do too. It's just molasses and sugar. If
That
you
is
ever
a very,
cared,
very, very normal thing.
yeah, very normal. Like, do you mean like common knowledge?
Yeah.
I feel like some people didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, some people don't know that. You cook? You ever do much of that?
I do. It's become
You ever
a
grilled
little
a steak,
bit.
boy? You ever?
I have not. No,
You've
but
never grilled a steak?
not me personally. I assisted my grandpa one time.
You need to get out there and grill, boy. Get yourself a ribeye or a New York strip steak, and you tenderize that thing. If you don't got a meat tenderizer, you get brass knuckles or a fork, and you stab that thing. Well, you don't got to stab it too much, but you do have to tenderize it. Tenderizing it is important.
Yeah,
This is cooking with Sammy, and Sammy is teaching Owen how to tenderize a steak.
The point is, I'm not particularly very involved in the kitchen,
That's dangerous, Owen.
but I knew that brown sugar is molasses and sugar.
Yeah. Someone, well, at least in my regard, I know I plan to live alone most of my life, if not all of it, if not the rest of it.
Something I do not plan on doing.
So I know that I should learn how to cook, so I don't eat the same thing every day for the rest of my life, which I wouldn't mind so much, but I feel like it would only accentuate any potential insanity that comes with living alone. You know what I mean?
Well, I understand what you're saying. Me, I do not want to live alone. I know this is sound fairly generic, but I want the
nothing wrong with being a little bit generic when it comes to life dreams.
I want the 2.5
white picket
kids.
Fence. 2.5?
Well,
you want to have a child?
Well, I mean, like Simpsons, like except not as.
Oh, you want your children Simpsons. to stay young forever?
But you know what you understand the point.
You want your children to gradually get worse as they grow up?
Okay, Simpsons was a very bad example. But I do not want.
You want your kids with jaundice?
Point is, I don't want to die alone. So, I want
to die in a cool way.
That is. I'm ideally going to marry someone who is better at cooking than I am, because that is not something I plan on.
Hey, even if you do marry someone who can cook, you still gotta know how to grill.
Exactly.
You still gotta know how to grill.
Right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's going to be I can cook, but she's gonna be the cook of the family.
Yeah. But I mean, the marketing done in the 50s to convince that society, to convince to society that grilling was especially like a manly thing, was very successful, and because of that, guys can grill without feeling like a girl. I'm putting that in quotations marks. I'm not saying I don't believe that, but that was very successful. You ever hear about that?
No, yeah, I understand that.
The whole that's why they had George Foreman selling grills. Like he had no reason to be doing that.
It has been marketed as like really one of the only. It marketed as a very manly activity back in like the 50s and 60s.
Even now, it's still recognized as like a dad thing.
But because of that starting in like the 50s and 60s.
Yeah. And
actually, we don't even own a grill right now.
You guys don't have a grill?
No,
ever since we
never got around to buying one since we moved here.
Well, I mean, it's not essential, but I think you ought to have one.
I know we think about getting one pretty much every time.
Again, we never do anything together. You've never been to like my house just to come over, which is crazy.
Yeah, I
We've
agree.
been friends for like 4 or 5 years now.
And we've gotten a lot closer since high school.
Since high school. And we've just never done anything outside of school.
Well,
we got to make sure we do things with each other. You know, like, I don't know. I don't have time because we're moving right now. Oh, we're moving right now. I feel like I should mention that. So we're moving right now. So we can't do anything in the immediate time. And generally until after the play is done and until after marching band is done, we aren't going to be able to have a chance to do much. But
I don't know. Like
every Friday we were able to make time to do this, which is nice.
So we should be able to make time.
I'm not saying that, but we will be able to.
Right. Once
our big things are over. Actually, I don't even know because I got magicals after that. Well, that's in the morning though.
And then the really only things I'm doing after marching band
is jazz band and pep band. And, are you even doing pep band this year?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Pep band is like
easy. Is it easy? It seems easy.
I don't do it because it's not a challenge. I do it because, like, and this is something I do not. For me, I love playing the drums. But in marching band, I have to do exactly the thing that I am told to do every single time.
So you get some leniency
in jazz band. When I'm talking in jazz band, I not only have to share the drum set with other people, and
hey, I'm right here.
That's.
Well, I'm gonna join pep band to spite you now.
But it's just no level of freedom that I get that isn't pep band. I get the most amount of freedom, and that is the
best part, right? Okay, so we're kind of running low on time because the thing that we record on only lets us record 30 minutes at a time. So we're going to speed up here and go through something important that's going to release on the day that you guys are getting this. And
September
that is
6th.
September 6th.
And Wednesday.
It's National Read a Book Day. There you go. Or no, that's today.
No, that was not today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, National Read a Book Day. Okay, we're speeding it up. We're speeding it up. Okay, this has been In the Room with... Oh, wait. Not really. We're not done yet. Burt Reynolds died today in 2018. So take that, I guess.
This has been In the Room with...
Sammy.
And Owen.
Thanks for watching. Yeah.